Hi everyone, my name is Laura and welcome to Book Bubbler. I have a small-ish book haul from Book Outlet. I'm going to blame this one on Doris at Aldi Books because she's talked about a couple of the books that have come up here and they sound so good and they were so inexpensive. So I had to just fill up my cart on Black Friday and take advantage of the sale, right? I mean, it'd be foolish not to. So, jumping right in, I have two in the Hamish Macbeth series by MC Beaton. This is I guess it is a cozy mystery series. But I just adore this series. I like MC Beaton's writing a lot. I like her Agatha Raisin series quite a bit. My mom owns all of Agatha Raisin. I have just one left to read and I'm all caught up. And then the Hamish Macbeth series is one that I really like a lot, and I'm starting to collect the series now because I know I want to reread it. I think about the plots a lot. I think about the town and the characters quite often, so it's worth it to me to start looking for inexpensive used copies of these books. So this one, Death of a Nurse, is the 31st in the series. This one involves Hamish welcoming a new resident to Sutherland, a town near where he's from. And he meets the older gentleman, and this gentleman's nurse, who he thinks is very attractive, asks her out on a date, and she no-shows to dinner, and 4 days later her body washes up on the shore. So he has to try and solve her murder, and she's new to town, along with her employer, and all this stuff, and all of this usual heartbreak, and idiot coworkers and funny townspeople and stuff. So I liked this one a lot, so I'm happy to have it on my shelf. And then this is the next in the series, the 32nd book, Death of a Ghost. This is set in Drim, which is the town over. And even though Drim is a depressing and gray, I mean, it's grim, which sounds like it's named Drim, but I just love this little town of totally paranoid, weird Minos. I mean, I don't know why I like this little town so much, but whenever there's a story set in Drim, I get really excited. So this is set in Drim. There is an old sort of abandoned castle and there's a haunting happening. People in the town hear this ghost all the time. So Hamish goes up to investigate and finds a dead body in there. So he has to greet the owner and everything, and then the townspeople get involved, and I believe the vicar is somehow involved, the vicar of Drim. And they have a hard time keeping vicars from what I remember. But anyways, so very glad to have this copy. Large print, doesn't matter, just easier on my old lady eyes. Next, it was a total impulse buy. I was shopping for books for my friends' kids for Christmas and saw this there and I thought, oh, this would be wonderful. Who can I give this to? And I thought, screw it, I'm getting it for myself. It's called Adelaide's Secret World by Elise Hurst. Ooh, lots of glare here. And it's beautiful illustrations about this rabbit who I think kind of keeps to herself and about her imagination. Here, with courage and creativity, Adelaide transforms her lonely life into a magical one. I think this just sounds really sweet, and I like reading children's books a lot. A little nervous to do a children's book review because I don't want to get flagged with all the new kids stuff now with YouTube, since I'm new enough and don't even know how to edit basic videos, so that's enough for me to learn, but I don't want to deal with that. But anyways, this should be a really sweet little book, and they had lots of copies of that one too. Next, this is mostly because of Greg at Supposedly Fun. I love Greg. I love his channel. I find myself smiling and nodding and saying, yes, I totally agree to most things. Actually, I think everything I've heard him say, and I've seen, if not all of his videos, like 95% of them. So because of Greg, I have been looking for a copy of this book and was having kind of a hard time, and then just thought, oh, I'll just check Book Outlet while I'm here and just see if they have it, and they had it. That is Maurice by EM Forster. I really liked Howard's End when I read that one in college. I believe I started Remains of the Day and then ended up not finishing it for a class. It was an extra book I decided to read, but I still have it here. Of course I have it. And I also read, what is that book about India that he wrote? And it was so bad. I it was so racist and terrible. And usually I can read through that, or it's the times I understand, like, it can be wrong and I can still enjoy the book and I can set it aside because it's happened so long ago and they're not real people. I know it happened to real people, but you know what I mean? I can read the book despite its flaws. And that one I really had a hard time. So hearing him talk about this, and also seeing Claudia at Spinster's Library talk about this too, was one of her favorite books, made me really think, okay, good, I'm glad I found a copy. So I'm very happy to have this beautiful Penguin edition. Next, this one is partially because of Simon at Savage Reads. Simon has caused me quite a bit of reading damage, shopping damage lately. So this is The Muse by Jessie Burton. I do have an arc of The Miniaturist. I have not read it. My mom read that and liked it a lot. I'll get to that eventually, but I don't know what this is about. I just know that Simon likes her. My mom liked her previous book, and this has a pretty cover, so I bought it. Why not? And then this one has been getting kind of nice rave reviews. I've seen it quite a while, and I thought, well, I didn't add it. Sorry. I got my hair cut today, and I feel like there's hair on my face, even though I have wiped my face off several times. There's always like, anyways. This one I have seen around and that it had gotten really good reviews, and I was going to put it on my wish list on Amazon, which is epically, ridiculously long, and just kind of kept forgetting. And then I saw this on there for, I think, $4 or something insane, and I just got it. That's The Flatshare by Beth O'Leary. This is a contemporary fiction. I believe the premise is these two people share a flat. Well, obviously, does what it says in the tin. But she works during the day and sleeps at night, and he's got a reversed schedule, so they don't really ever see each other, but they share an apartment and they share a bed and everything. And I think they eventually meet, and of course they probably fall in love because why not? So I'm excited to get to this one too. And it's, you know, it's a new book and it's in really good nick. So very happy to find this one. Then I was also looking for more books by Julia Alvarez. Julia Alvarez was one of my favorite authors in high school in the 90s. I absolutely loved Yo. I loved In the Time of the Butterflies. And I had a really hard time then finding more books of hers. I just found those two at my local, I think there was a Barnes & Noble still there. There still is a Barnes & Noble around. What am I talking about? It might have been Walden Books. I don't even really know where I found books in high school. But I've been trying to get more of her stuff lately. And they have new editions that have come out, I realized. But I want them to match my 90s copies because the 90s rule. And if I can get something matching with minimal effort, I'd rather just have them match. I mean, seeing my house, you would never think anything ever matches because nothing matches here. Like, if it works, it's fine. Anyways, long ramble about nothing. I ended up finding Before We Were Free by Julia Alvarez on the site. This is about a young girl on her 12th birthday in 1960. She lives in the Dominican Republic. Her uncle Tony disappears in the United States, so she has to try and overcome, let's see, an unforgettable story about adolescence, perseverance, and one girl's struggle to be free. And it won the Puerto Belpre Award. Don't know who that is, don't know the award, but oh well. Beautiful cover, so I'm looking forward to getting to this previously unknown to me Julia Alvarez. And then trolling around in nonfiction as you do, I found American Canopy, Trees, Forest, and the Making of a Nation by Eric Rutkow. I have several books, nonfiction books about trees. I love trees. I am literally and figuratively a tree hugger. So I was very happy to get the last copy of this. Don't know what it's going to be like. Oh gosh, it is very small print. I will for sure need my glasses when I read this one. Yikes. But this covers how trees were essential to the early years of the Republic and indivisible from the country's rise as both an empire and civilization. Among American Canopy's many captivating stories, the Liberty Trees, where colonists gathered to plot rebellion against the British, Henry David Thoreau's famous retreat into the woods, the creation of New York City's Central Park, The Great Fire of 1871. Oh, I'm so glad this is in here. That killed 1,000 people in the lumber town of Puerto, Wisconsin, which also happened the same night as the Great Chicago Fire. So Chicago, being a bigger city, got all the press for this huge fire. And it's devastating, rightfully so, it got press. But Puerto was covered hardly at all, and it covered, I think, twice the area of Chicago and had, I believe, more deaths. But it's Wisconsin, and nobody gives a crap about Wisconsin. So who cares about the small lumber town that burned thousands of acres and 1,000 people were killed? So I'm so happy that that is part of this. Anyways, Wisconsin ran over. The fevered attempts to save the American chestnut and the American elm from extinction, and the controversy over spotted owls and the old-growth forest they inhabited. So this should be all sorts of really interesting stuff. He is the author, graduate of Yale and Harvard Law, has worked as a lawyer on environmental issues. Well, God bless him. Lord knows we need him. So, American Canopy. Sounds really, really interesting. Then this is a total impulse buy, but Ruth Ware's The Death of Mrs. Westaway. I have never read Ruth Ware. I have one of her books on my shelves. The name escapes me right now. I believe it was In a Dark, Dark Wood, but don't quote me. So just saw this and wanted to pick it up. I love gothic things and I love mystery, so this should be a hit. And then these two are the ones that I blame on Doris. I had not heard of them previously, but seeing her talk about them, both of them, mostly the second one, since I'm fairly new to watching BookTube, I had been thinking about it for a long time and just decided to go ahead and just buy whatever was on Book Outlet by this author, and they had the first two. So that is When I Was a Puerto Rican and Almost a Woman by Esmeralda Santiago. These are memoirs of her life in Puerto Rico, obviously, and after she moved to New York City. I don't know when this was, the 70s? Not sure. I don't know, but I can't wait to read these books. I love memoirs. I love own voices writing. I love hearing about people who have made big changes in their life and how they have overcome things. I am just so excited to get to these two books. So that is my stack of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 books. That does not count the 2 books that I can't show you that I also bought for Christmas presents. And I know some people are watching who are getting some of those books. And it does not include all the presents that I bought for my friends' kids and everything. So it was a hefty box. My poor postman must absolutely hate my guts, but oh well. So that's all for now. Have any of you read these books? Has anything here sounded interesting to you? Let me know in the comments if you have read them, whatever, anything you think about these. And I will speak to you guys all soon. Hope you're reading something wonderful and staying warm. And I will talk to you later. Bye.